Hello fans, Damian Nelson coming to you here from the studios of the Pro Wrestling Report. A little special interview, if you will, call it a bit of a shoot interview, whatever you want. Just a little bit of discussion as we reach our 10,000th subscriber, now well above that actually, on our YouTube channel. It's a little bit of a discussion about the state of the show, the Pro Wrestling Report, of which I have the opportunity to be the producer and host of. And just to answer some of the questions that have been out there and talk to you about the direction of the show. So, why don't we get right down to it? Basically, you know, we, the Pro Wrestling Report, have been doing this now for 12 plus years, coming up on 13 years on the air, primarily on Time Warner Cable in southeastern Wisconsin, where we started back in March of '98, then advancing onto the internet several years ago, and then the ESPN radio portion of the show a couple of years ago as well. So we've built a brand, that brand being the Pro Wrestling Report, that brand being the only wrestling news outlet that brings you television, brings you radio, brings you World Wide Web content, and we've been very privileged to be number one at what we do, to be the most watched with over 4 million total views, closer to 5 million actually total views, and we're very lucky to be voted the best professional wrestling radio broadcast last year, and also obviously all of the accolades and the special interviews and just opportunities that we've had. And it's a labor of love. It's something that we do that started out as a hobby. It has turned into much more than that. It's extremely time consuming and challenging at times to get our massive group of talents together to do the show. And speaking of those talents, we have such great ones. Obviously, Meathead, who's been with us since 1999, brings a unique dynamic to the show. The Kaz, Frank Cosentino, who's been with us as well since about 2000, brings a very interesting historical perspective to the show, being the elder statesman, if you will, of the show. And our most recent additions in order, David Hero, who joined us on air a couple of years ago, has been an excellent asset to the program and has really been a good personality to be part of the show, and again, one who brings a lot to the program. Rashi Brown, Ring of Honor's Rashi Brown, the Skull Crusher, joined us a little while ago as well. Primarily you see him on the ESPN radio show, or listen to him on the ESPN radio show. He did that one episode of Primetime, which was very well received and very fun to do all at the same time. And Rashi's a great guy. He never holds anything back, tells everything that is on his mind, and doesn't care what bridges, if any, he burns. And that's what's good. It's real. And the dynamic he brings is pretty substantial. Most recently, we added Linda Kay to the panel, to the broadcast team. She's still learning, still getting comfortable in the environment, and quite frankly, is a great addition and a good contributor to the show. We're going to be modifying the role going forward here and making sure we maximize our talents, but a tremendous amount of knowledge about the business and a tremendous amount of experience actually in the broadcasting field, working with radio and now working with television as well. And you know, she's done interviews with people like Bret Hart and things of that nature in the past as well. So you'll see Linda continue to grow in her role, and as I said, we're going to be modifying a lot of roles of a lot of people in the show as we go forward. But the staff is what it is. We have the distinct pleasure of having a professional wrestler on a national wrestling brand, Ring of Honor. We have a promoter, David Hero, who's promoted wrestling and been one of the top promoters in the country, if not the world, for the last several years, bringing a perspective to the program that you just can't get anywhere else. And with our relationships that we have with a lot of the talents in the business, a lot of the people in the business, you'd be quite surprised at the level of information and the amount of information that we get on a regular basis, and some of the stuff, we just really don't even report. It's just, we want to, it's important to us to protect our integrity and to protect the brand and to protect those relationships that we have with people, because while we may not report everything we hear, while we may not share everything that we hear, and I understand how you may want to know some of those things, it allows us to make informed decisions and do informed reporting about the news that is out there and about what's really out there. It frustrates me to no end to see a lot of these people, a lot of other times, information, news get out or be released that is just completely untrue. I'll simplify it as much as this. You go to a live event, you read somebody's report on that event, and you were there, and you see what they had to provide or what they had to say about it, and a lot of the stuff is just based on opinion, or maybe not even true. And again, just sit back and you sort of watch, and we try to correct some things out there, especially some things that may be vicious or malicious, and not let those get out. But the wrestling news business is unique, and we don't necessarily do wrestling news as much as we do opinion of what's going on out there. Our unique personalities, the dynamics that we have on air, allows us to just simply talk wrestling, simply talk about the sport, simply talk about our feelings about what's going on in the business and our perceptions and interpretations of what's going on in the business out there. And many of you don't agree with the way we present the product, and many of you don't agree with some of the things we say. That's your right. You're entitled to do that. It is our opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. However, at times it's funny. It's funny to see what some of the people say, and some of the feedback that we get on YouTube, which is just fun to read sometimes. People are just malicious for no reason. There's some good, valid feedback. We appreciate every one of our thousands of subscribers. We appreciate every one of our thousands of viewers across our media channels, and we appreciate and respect the opinions of those fans and those viewers. We appreciate and respect the good things that have to be said, the bad things that have to be said, but at the same time, there's a vision and there's a way, to get that done. We get emails via the website all the time. I've gotten emails within the course of a day saying, why are you such a WWE mark? And then a few minutes later, why are you such a TNA mark? So everybody has their own opinion. And that opinion is for you all to forge out there. But the only thing that truly gets frustrating at times, especially amongst the YouTube audience, is the lack of appreciation for the product being presented. Like it or not, it is a product that we choose to do. It is a product that we choose to present. It is a product that we do to supplement our normal day-to-day activities. It is a product that won't allow all of us to always get together and be on the programs that are put out there, and other people, we have scheduling conflicts and are not able to always come together. And the countless hours that we spend each week putting on our nearly 3 hours of content each and every week, aside from a couple weeks out of the year where we do take off. You need to do that because wrestling can burn you out every now and again, but it's a pretty consistent product, and we get bumped around sometimes on our ESPN radio show on 540 ESPN in Milwaukee, and 540 ESPN has been great to us. It's a good product that I think we put on that station, and we're looking at some opportunities to grow that product going forward. But what gets frustrating is, as I said, that lack of appreciation for the product. Love it, like it, hate it. It becomes discouraging at times to attempt to satisfy people who can't be satisfied. And I learned a long time ago, you never can satisfy anybody, and you will fail trying. And that's probably one of the biggest problems in wrestling in general right now. WWE is not what it once was. It's not as exciting. It's not as interesting. It's not as fun. It's not must-see TV. It's not must-do activity. TNA, same thing. They've taken some substantial missteps over the last few months, but they've taken some good opportunities as well over the last few months, and are growing some talents, and some of the people that they've brought on. Some of the people that they've brought on have been tremendous in their roles, and the Monday night failure, if you will, was an embarrassing thing for them, and it's going to take them a while to come back for that if they ever do. But knowing what we know about what some of the plans are in both companies, and I think you're going to be intrigued by some of the things going forward, and potentially be able to be just that wrestling fan again, which is what we are, wrestling fans. If we didn't love this business, if we weren't marks for this business, if we didn't enjoy the business, we certainly wouldn't spend as much time as we do covering it, talking about it, and discussing it. But it does get to a point where it's just not as fun sometimes, and we deal with that on our own. But the key to this whole thing is making sure each of you realize how much we appreciate you as viewers, you as listeners, you as engagers on our website. Those of you that send us emails to be included in Interactive. By the way, we're going to be tweaking Interactive coming up in the next few weeks to make it a much more media sensitive and social networking sensitive show, and I think you'll be excited about some of those changes. But we appreciate all of you that have joined us on Facebook, become fans of the Pro Wrestling Report group on Facebook, following us on Twitter. Twitter is a fun thing to have, and if you follow us individually, I think that you see some of those stories that are out there of some of the things that we encounter. So, I have great appreciation for all of you. I have great appreciation for the staff that dedicates their time to this show to make it what it is. I have great appreciation for the business of professional wrestling. I can never wrestle. I can never do what these wrestlers do. I can not even understand at times the level of focus, intensity, and passion that it takes to be in the business. But it is fun talking about it, and that's simply what we do, is talk about it. So, 10,000 subscribers, the most watched professional wrestling show on YouTube, the only professional wrestling entity that delivers radio, television, website, and on a consistent basis. It's a pretty heavy responsibility, one that I am privileged to have, and one that I will continue to hopefully enjoy along with you over the course of the next several years. And there are a lot of shows out there, a lot of people doing reporting on wrestling out there, a lot of websites that do reporting on wrestling out there. We are distinctly different from all of those. We have the longevity, we have the refinement, we have the respect, and we're real. We're real people. What you see on air is what happens when the cameras aren't rolling. And I think that is what makes the Pro Wrestling Report brand unique, and those that are part of the Pro Wrestling Report team unique. So continue those engagements, continue discussing what's going on out there in the wrestling world, continue sharing your opinions with us, because it is you that makes the show work. And we'll be back with brand new episodes of the show this week. Remember, we are on Thursday after Impact this week, which will be our first time airing on Thursday on 540 ESPN. And you can listen live, You can call into the show. Everything we do is behind our own name. Screen names, emails are obviously our on-air personas. And many of you are out there, and I referred to some of those malicious comments lately, or earlier, hiding behind a screen name, behind a keyboard. Well, engage us, call us, challenge us. I think you've seen on Interactive, we read some of those comments that may not be so favorable to some of the things we've said or done on the show. We don't shy away or hide from anything. It's us. We're real. We're out there. You know exactly who you're talking to. And if you really feel that passionate about something, good or bad, drop us a line. We're on the air for 2 hours every week on a live radio show, and you can just call in and be a part of it and tell us what you think. And we always love talking to our listeners, our viewers, and our fans. So, thank you for supporting the Pro Wrestling Report so far. I think you'll be very excited about some of the things you're going to be seeing over the next few weeks from the program. Basically, all sort of launched with our tremendous experience at WrestleMania and the coverage that came from that. I think you'll be very happy with not necessarily changes, but tweaks and modifications that we're going to make the show more enjoyable going forward, again, as we celebrate our 10,000 plus subscribers here on our YouTube channel. So, hopefully we'll see you soon at pwrshow.com, which is where we want all of you to go to actually watch the shows. We'd much rather you watch them there than on YouTube. It's a much better experience. However, we understand YouTube is a more socially friendly opportunity for people to watch the show and engage us. Send us those emails, drop us a call on our live ESPN radio show, tweet us, comment on our Facebook page, whatever it is, feel free to do it. We're out there, we're ready to talk to you and to engage you, because we are what I like to call the social networking hub of professional wrestling, and that is our goal, that is our target, that is our brand. So, thank you on behalf of all the PWR staffers, the interns as well, and we'll see you again with our next episode of the Pro Wrestling Report. Thanks so much.